Hi everyone, welcome back to My Parenting Way. My name's Katie and today I'm going to talk to you about imposter syndrome and parenting. So I think all of us at some point have heard of the term imposter syndrome at some point, but what does it actually mean? So imposter syndrome is basically doubting your own abilities and feeling like a fraud despite all your accomplishments that you might have already had. And I think as parents we get this all the time. We never feel enough and we constantly are thinking ourselves frauds, even though our children can end up being fantastically well-rounded, well-behaved, and even if they're not, which is sometimes normal, children. And despite all the good things that we could do with our kids, we always feel like we're never enough. And quite often people who suffer with imposter syndrome end up counteracting these feelings by working even harder and holding yourself to impossibly high standards which you're never really able to achieve. And with parenting, that's really important because there's never a perfect parent because each child is different. Each child needs a different set of skills when it comes to a parent, what they need from the parents. But automatically, we're constantly comparing ourselves and it's really unhealthy. So with these feelings, you have to ask yourself, what came first? Did you suffer with imposter syndrome before you became a parent? Or have these feelings actually only just arisen now that you have now become a mum or a dad, and it has then created this term that's sort of around the internet called a mumposter. You feel like an imposter or a mumposter when you are now a parent to this little baby. So nowadays, bringing up a child is an all-consuming task, and even the smallest mistakes can be amplified, increasing levels of stress, especially for mothers. And even if there is consistent proof that you are an excellent mum, your feelings of being an imposter or imposter syndrome can distort these feelings, and you end up putting it down to good luck, or you end up saying to yourself, oh, other people don't realize how bad I am. And this is very, very normal for imposter syndrome. So how do we combat this feeling of being a mumposter? Well, here are a few quick and easy tricks that I have used to help us snap out of that funky mindset. So number one, write a journal. And when I say write a journal, I mean specifically every time something good happens when you are a parent, or something that you deem is a really good thing that you have done as a parent, write it down in a little journal and keep it there as a keepsake for when you are feeling really low and pants about yourself. Then go back to that journal, refer to it, read down what you've written, and it almost gives you a little pick-me-up about yourself when those really intrusive thoughts tend to creep in. Number two, tell yourself that you are the best mother your baby has ever had. So I remember that during my particularly low moments with my daughter the first time round, I would have a little mantra in my head and tell myself, she has never had a mother as good as me in her little life. Which I know is obvious because obviously I'm her mum and she's the only one she's had, but it really made a difference to my mindset when it came to doing stuff to do with her and learning. And I thought to myself, she doesn't know any better. As far as she's concerned, I'm the best thing out there. And actually, when I stopped to think about it in that way, I thought to myself, who am I trying to prove myself to? Is it to other mums? Is it to my family? Is it to myself? But actually, it shouldn't matter to anyone else but my baby. And when I told myself that, it did make myself feel a lot better. Number three, change your mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And what do I mean by this? So try and develop a really healthy way of looking at failure and use mistakes as a way of learning, and try and get your mind and thinking around that idea of, right, okay, I've messed up, I've done something wrong when it comes to parenting or any other aspect of your life, but actually it's okay, it's just learning, and that's fine. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's this brilliant book called Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, and I read this not too long after having Aiden, my second child, and it basically describes this whole mindset concept of a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, and the differences in how having growth mindset really changes your perspective of learning and growing and mistakes, and learning from those mistakes. And I found it a really helpful, good book to read when I was feeling particularly low. Number 4, take a break from social media. So social media platforms such as Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, they are fantastic at opening up ideas and visualizing different parts of the world and keeping us all connected and easy communicating. But there is an element of that where you look at an Instagram perfect family or an Instagram perfect parenting scene and you automatically start comparing yourself, and it is exhausting. And you have this 24/7, and quite often we decide to go on our phones as a bit of a mental break, but actually that's the worst thing we can do, because by scrolling through Instagram and having a look at these picture perfect families, actually we're already adding to the stress. So take a break from social media, and then you'll realize when you look around and not everything is in through a perfect lens, you start being less harsh on yourself. Number 5, ask your partner to reinforce positive attributes of each other's parenting. So try and avoid judgy little remarks that would put the other person down. And I think we do this especially as mums, where we feel like actually because we're with the child normally a lot longer than the dad, because we're on maternity leave or we're breastfeeding or we're with them from day one, 24/7, it's very common to think ourselves superior in parenting, but actually dads or other parents can also have their side and use their many attributes to try and bring up this little child, to bring this child in a world with lots of different skills and different parts of their personality, let that come through. So actually what we have to do is focus on the good sides of our parenting, and having your partner constantly almost be a little bit of a cheerleader for you will really help reinforce that positiveness in your parenting, and hopefully squash those negative thoughts and feelings that you might be having when it comes to parenting and imposter syndrome. So there you go, my 5 little tips on trying to get over imposter syndrome as a parent or mumposter. So I really hope you found this useful. Please leave any comments below if you would like to add any more to these. I'd really love to hear from you. And please hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to get all the updates on me and Aidan. And I will see you next time.